All right, chat. Did you hear? Did you hear? Asmongold talked about Star Citizen. But not only that, but my biggest hater in the galaxy got on Discord with him. So this is going to be a good one. He's not talking about the game, though. That's the thing. It's Star Citizen's $48,000 DLC is the name of the video. We're talking about the funding stuff. Yay, everyone's favorite. Here we go.
48,000 ahead of all others.
Let me move myself.
This definitive armada is an equal match to the noble title of Legatus Navium, comprised of over 175 vessels from every manufacturer of note. This perfect collection, including all ships released and concepted through 2953, empowers every fleet commander to forge a lasting legacy, leading humanity towards a brighter future. It's
oh my god, they update this thing constantly because this is one of the most recent subflares, I think.
$48,000. I don't believe this.
Yeah, it's real, bro.
Well, this one's only $1,000. No.
That's because you haven't bought the game. This is what the plebs can see.
Oh. They've had that package multiple times. It's very real, and there are some whales that have multiple purchases of this there are packages you can't see because you aren't part of the Admiral Club. Do you want to know what's really sad about this? And you guys, I hope, don't know this. But in Femdom, this is extremely common. Where if you spend money on a girl, she has like basically different tiers of stuff. Where if you spend money, then she will offer you more stuff for higher prices. How do you know this? Because
financial domination.
I find it incredibly interesting, and I knew a girl, I've known multiple girls actually that have done.
Well, I know a girl that's done that too. Yeah, okay, I'm familiar with this. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm really familiar with this. Yeah. Oh, all right, I get it. Cool.
On this. One I had extensive conversations and spent a lot of time with.
It's a humiliation kink.
Yeah, I asked a lot of questions. I wanted to know everything about it. I did. I wanted to know every in and out, every nuance to it. I wanted to understand the entire thing. And I just want you guys to know that this is a literal one-for-one with Findom. And they even have their own specific website. You've heard of OnlyFans, but this one is called Loyal Fans.
Oh, Jesus
It's a different website just for Findom. That's right. Surprise. Loyal Fans, there it is.
The front of his mic looks like mine. Yeah, we don't clean up the two of us very much. I'm
can
a
you
little
give
cleaner
examples
than
of
him.
each tier?
I showered this morning.
No, I don't. I think you can expect what the tiers would be, right? That's about it. As I would know that? No. You guys have to understand. I've been on the internet for over 20 years now, okay? Like, 20 years ago, I had a computer in my room with...
I mean, so did I, but I don't know what it is.
Unsupervised internet access, okay? 20 years ago. 25 years ago, I had the internet. This is like 1999, 1998, 2000. Like, I
You want to know something funny? I've never seen Two Girls, One Cup. I got fucking meat spinned, And then the next person who came up to me and says, have you seen this website? I was like, brother, I'm done. No, I'm not watching any more of that shit. I just got meat spinned.
I was the first one in my entire neighborhood to have the internet.
You don't have to watch it.
Everybody would come over to my house to look at shit on the internet. So yes, I know how shit is. That's when I was born. Yes, guys,
I'm a little older than him, so I've been on the internet longer. In a way, I was lucky, I guess. I didn't grow up in like a, I didn't grow up super poor or anything. We didn't grow up wealthy because everyone around us was more wealthy than we were. So I always felt poor, even though we weren't. But yeah, I had the internet I was in middle school, so I would say 96, maybe 97, 98, somewhere around there.
I've been here for a while.
I can't remember.
Morpheus? No, bro.
Exactly.
That was my mom. My mom, because she was on the internet. She was doing tech stuff. You have to understand, like, my mom was flying across the country in the 70s to buy cartography computers for like $30,000 and $40,000 because my grandfather was a cartographer.
Yeah,
he was a pilot in World War II
when he was a kid.
So growing up, like, I have like
riding bikes around the neighborhood.
I have these in my house right now. We never got rid of them.
You've had the internet longer than I've been alive.
Like, this was the old computer.
Thanks, bro.
I remember whenever my mom bought an IBM that looked like this. This computer, I remember when this was the new computer.
Wow.
Yep. I just want you guys to understand.
We had computers that looked like that in school.
These packages here, and the way that the pricing is done, is a literal 1-for-1 with Findom. Now, I'm not going to tell you what that means. I'm not going to...
I wish you would, because I'm so confused.
...draw any conclusions from that. But what I am going to say is that it's the same thing. It sure is. What does this mean for the future of gaming? I don't know. Why don't you ask Ubisoft? This was sent to me with the caption... I haven't spent enough to see the 48K, though. Yeah, the guy said he only spent $1,000. So, yeah, I mean, he's definitely not in the, Admirals Club yet, you know? He's only like a captain or something like that. Definitely not well. Yeah, that's it. Holy fuck, man. Oh, wow, look at that. It's all in stock, too.
Like, oh my
Thank
God,
God somebody didn't buy them out, you know? Like, I better buy...
It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like, if you're a broke boy, just say so.
I am now before somebody else buys them out. Yeah, then there won't be any more. That would be terrible, right? They have a special concierge service for people that spend over 10K. You get a dedicated support specialist on call to help with game issues. Concierge levels and rewards.
No, he's found
Chairman's Club. High. Jacapaco, top hat, and monocle.
Yes.
As High Admiral, you understand that a hangar is more than a place to park your vessel. Grand Admiral. Space Marshal. Wing Commander. Praetorian, Legolas Navidum. The Chairman's Club was introduced in January 2018. This included a new section for an account for all things concierge, including your current rank within the club and what rewards you receive. Through this club, you can submit and review support tickets, as well as check in with concierge services frequently asked questions for the most recent topics and questions.
I heard they're like getting really stingy about shit with that too. I don't think that there's actual like concierge support anymore, because the game's been in development for so long that people spend money on their hobbies, right? So if you're really into Star Citizen and you started in the early days, you could easily be over $1,000 now if you spend $100 a year, right? I don't think this is a thing anymore. Well, if they shut it down, it's still on the website. I don't think it's shut down, but I don't think they allow people to like. So they used to allow people to like just do whatever, kind of bend the rules of the like the packages and stuff. Like, oh, can you make this tradable, or can you split this out, and things like that. So, and I think they used to let people do it. Now they don't really do it anymore. And I think that there's so many backers now that there's no way that they can offer this kind of like one-to-one support as they're saying it. Also, there's many thousands of concierge members. I imagine most of them are in the $1,000 range, and there's very few at the very high
While
levels,
they are essentially the same, the Chairman's Club has more in-game ties and lore behind it, which will be further expanded on what concierge members will expect to see.
You can reach... Yeah, I guess if you have the $200 a year subscription, sure, you can reach a concierge in 5 years or something. But, yeah, it doesn't go up that fast.
The
with
final
sub,
game.
So.
There will be even more Chairman's Club members to enjoy, including in-person events hosted by our staff, provided in intimate settings. Limited merchandise designed with comfort and style in mind, and exclusive pledges of...
Oh, and by the way, you get the exclusive ability to buy the tickets to those in-person events. They're not included. That's not included. That's bullshit. You literally have to buy to go to those events. So, for example, CitizenCon, all the content that he watched in the last, like, 6 months or whatever, the Squadron 42 demo, all the stuff that was debuted there, they had a special event for concierge members only. I think they brought them through the LA studio or something like that and had a little dinner there or something, right? I think this one's going to be a lot nicer, and it's probably going to have, like, Mark Hamill at it or some bullshit, right? Some Squadron 42 actors or something. That's my guess. And it's apparently even more exclusive than that one is, and it was like tickets were very hard to get or whatever. But yeah, you have the ability to buy these things. You're not even it's not included in the fact that you've given them an exorbitant amount of money.
Available only to concierge members.
Sandy Roberts, yeah, probably.
I'm gonna be real. I think that if you're dumb enough to spend this much money, either you are an oil prince, I don't know what and it literally does not fucking matter, or you know you bought a lot of GameStop stock at the right time, or it's better in their hands than yours.
That's debatable.
A fool and his money are soon parted, and the fool was lucky enough to be together with the money for enough time in the first place. Should have never happened.
The thing is I don't think there's too many fools who are getting up to 48,000 before they go broke. Like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to say this because it sounds rude, but like, I think Asmon has so much money now that maybe he, like, I know he doesn't like spending it, and he knows 48,000 is a lot of money, but people, like, do people have that kind of credit limit? Like, I don't know. I'm not that. My credit limit is not anywhere near this. So even if I wanted to go for broke, I wouldn't even be able to. Right? And like money is relative. I worked in a casino for 15 years. I watched people literally do coin flips for $48,000. I watched somebody place a $400,000 bet on a soccer game while simultaneously winning $1 million pot that I was pushing him, right? Like, I have dealt the biggest games in the world. Well, maybe at the time, the biggest game in the world. I'm sure there's something bigger now. But so money is relative to all sorts of people. I think people who are getting up to this package are just generally wealthy people that I think thought Star Citizen was going to be something that you needed to have all these ships. Star Citizen really does sell that kind of, that idea of like, you need these, right? So people get them. And they also make you want them, right? Because they're cool looking and all that stuff. So over the course of many, many years, there's the ability to get up to this. This is, I forgot who also talked about this. I think it was Pirate Software that like looked at this $48,000 package, broke it down like they knew what they were talking about, and for the most part they do, but what they don't understand is the ability to use store credit on everything in the game. So you may not have ever purchased this package. You may have purchased 100 different ships that got you up to 48,000, and then this package in particular, because if you look right here, the Karna Ascension Rifle will be available in Q1 2024. Basically, every single item in this game is in this package. So when you get up to this level, CIG basically says, you just get everything, bro. And they keep raising the price of it, except for new ships. They'll eventually be in there. So they'll be, the next time they update this package, it'll be a little bit more expensive, and all of the ships will be in there. But every item is in there. So the value of these items, like these actual items that are super, like they sold them once or they never even sold them. They were part of like some you had to be here kind of thing at the time. You had to be a backer at the time. Every single one of these items are in this package. So it's one of the only ways to get these things. So if some whale who spent way too much money on what his hobby would be would eventually get up to this level and then get this package because it's worth more than all of the things that he's purchased combined, as far as monetary value and as far as maybe like in-game credit value or whatever like headcanon that they create for themselves based on the things in the game. The exclusivity, like the FOMO or whatever. Like nobody has these things except for me, you know?
Dad's credit card? Yep, there it is.
Like nobody's using Dad's credit card on this.
I don't even know what to say.
You know what I mean?
Come on, Zach, can you buy this for us?
They're using Dad's credit card maybe on a Constellation.
You want me to buy this?
$100.
I'm not gonna buy this. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm not gonna do it.
Does it include stuff like the Raven and the AMD ship? I think I can see this package, so let me take a peek. While he's going, I'll take a look. I
know you want it, and it would be funny if I bought it. It would be very funny if I bought it, but that's a lot of money. That's a horrible investment. Yes, it would be. So it's not worth the money. So if I bought
don't even know how to find
for
it,
$48,000, I would probably make a video about it, and it would generate collectively like maybe $10,000 to $15,000, assuming I do like 2 or 3 videos and they're really popular. So do I really want to do that and lose? Do I want to set $20,000 on fire? No, I don't. I don't like spending money, okay? I have no problem spending money for content, okay? Like Wuthering Waves, but I'm dropping like $500 and I make a video about it, it makes $3,000. I'm making money with this, right? Now, I know what the economics for this are, and $48,000, guys, we're going to have to get the views up on the YouTube channel, okay?
No.
Like, we're getting pretty close to like, even one channel. One channel nowadays is getting close to like 100 million views a month. We're doing great, okay? We're doing amazing. But we got to keep going. So you guys got to start tuning into YouTube channels, turn off ad block.
I don't think they can legally sell that.
You got to be watching, pay attention to the sponsor segments. Like, I'm talking like, guys, if you guys want this to happen, we have to really, we got to chip in, okay? Like, you got to, you got to really put it in there. Fuck off? Yeah, exactly, right? So now nobody wants it. Okay, wow, okay, too bad. I guess I just won't do it then. Okay, fuck, this is crazy.
But the Vandal Scythe is in there.
$48,000. Is there a package? Here's the thing.
There's no package bigger than this.
That's higher than that?
No. Not that I'm aware of. But I have not paid
I
this
have 40 ships, the value.
But it has all the little things
Will
in
you
it.
come
this
on to
is
Discord
where the
and
value
talk to
is.
me?
Right?
Can I talk to you on Discord? One thing must be kept in mind.
This is it. This is my biggest hater. This is my biggest hater. Sketch Therapy. On the entire, in the galaxy. Anytime my name is mentioned in a Twitch chat, this guy goes absolutely insane.
Is Concerning Star Citizen still in pre-alpha?
This guy is
it
10
said
times
progress
worse than
maybe
Greasy.
reset at a time. Can you imagine if like these people get their
$48,000
ship reset?
That's why he hates me.
That'd be pretty fucking funny. Try to recall. I'm not sure why it's working. Okay. Yeah. I'll end the call. I'll recall you. Okay.
My bad.
You good?
I had push to talk on.
There it is. Right. That's
this
what I
isn't
thought.
sketch,
All right,
though. I don't think.
Well, anyway, man. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself so everybody knows kind of where you're coming from and who you are.
Well, so I was.
Why was he banned? He told me I was streaming just to make money, or I was begging for money or some shit. I've never done, like, I never do that. Ever. I've never had, like, a sub goal. Like, my sub goal is literally a meme. It goes up by 1 every time. Like, it's literally a joke.
I'm pretty much filthy or Kale. You can call me whichever word of gaming stuff. But,
okay,
so I was
Kale.
adamantly against
Sketch is the second caller. Okay.
Star Citizen for the longest until they talked about Squadron 42, right?
That was that whole tech demo that they did.
Yeah, well, this was before that, so because I loved Wing Commander, right?
Right.
So they did Wing Commander and stuff, and so when I saw Squadron 42, I was like, I'm on it. And then they're like, hey, if you pledge like $45, you can get Squadron 42, and you get access to Star Citizen, and that was like, okay, so I did it, but I never played Star Citizen for like.
How much did you pledge?
Initially, it was only $45.
Initially,
okay.
That's it. Right.
You said initially.
Initially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what?
So, so you have it, but there's no Squadron to play, Squadron 42. So I downloaded Star Citizen, and I was playing. I was like, this is pretty cool. But then they started getting, you're like, you can upgrade your current package.
Okay. And that's the current package, that's the concierge thing?
Well, no, the package
really
is
tell
like
you that you could upgrade your package?
No, I was not. So I went up, and then there was another one to where there's different packages, and they have like
I've never been like upsold on a package before.
Lifetime insurance, right? So I guess in game, once it finally releases, if your ship blows
Talking to a Star Citizen super whale
up,
doesn't sound like it.
Lose it, right?
Okay, sure. So makes sense.
So when you pledge, you get lifetime, and then they slowly changed it to where you only get 60 months. So they got rid of the lifetime, and they've changed it or evolved it over time.
Okay, so it's not 60 months. They went from lifetime to, I think, 6 months, and then every year that they do an event, it goes up, and I think they stopped at 10 years or something like that. Right? $1,000 is a super whale. Like, the fact that we shit on somebody for being broke for spending $1,000 on a video game tells a lot about the people in this chat and just this community in general, right? Oh, so it's gone up to 120 months. Okay. The idea of the LTI thing selling him, this was the first scam. This is what started it all. He's an older backer. This is what started them being, I don't want to say scam, but this is their first like foray into FOMO and where they started getting people hooked.
So you get 5 years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can always upgrade a package to next.
In perspective, gacha games have people spending $50K on the regular. Yeah. But at least they get power out of it. At least they get something out of it. What do these people get?
Next one, and then next one. So then you get the limited time ones. So that's how they get people. They're like, just spend $5 more.
At least they get to kill everybody.
Package. And then over a course of what? It's been in development for what? Since 2013 or something like that?
It's been a while.
Yes.
Bigger ships equal better? Unfortunately, no. Yeah.
So $5 here and there from all these people slowly builds how much you put into it.
Well, I know how much it builds. It builds over $700 million.
Or $1,000 for me, right?
So you spent over $1,000 collectively on this game.
I could check. Let me pull it up on. There's a site because I got hooked, man. But I haven't pledged since for like a very long time. I've pretty much given up.
You act like pledging is like an addiction. Like, I haven't pledged for 6 months. I'm 6 months clean.
I am 6 months clean. I'm more than that.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's bad. But then you start, then they have like their little free fly every so often to where people that never played can get in, and then they can test it for free for like a week, right? And then that's how they start hooking more people. You give out game codes to people. They get streamers like you to just give them any form of type of advertisement like we're doing right now, and then then chat's like, I'm gonna go try it for $40, and it just keeps building.
So it's like, you think that it's like one of those situations where like they don't mind or care whenever people make videos talking about how expensive the game is, because it's like luxury, I don't know, like conspicuous consumption, and so
I think it's any news is good news.
It attracts other whales.
He's saying Summit was paid? No. He's saying that they give like giveaway ships and stuff to the streamers, which they absolutely do.
Anyway.
Or
hold on, first time chatter, I literally got done watching this video and came to the stream to check out more about the game. I can give more context to this video, but I'm not going to be playing the game for another like hour and a half. We're going to be playing like the big event that's going on right now that we have to finish. That's not going to work and it's going to be completely broken, but I just want to finish to be done with it.
Or even the poor person with $5 in their dad's credit card. You know, they are literally getting 23,000 people advertisement right now for free, right? And somebody's going to be curious.
I think they should give me the $48,000 package for free then. I mean, the way that you're saying it, I feel like that's just...
Honestly, I bet you they would. I bet you if they asked, he would get this package for free.
It's fair.
I mean, Zach,
I would not be surprised.
You are like free advertisement.
I agree.
For these people. And
so
they should
true.
fucking just hook you up. You know?
Absolutely.
Any of them.
Yeah, please, guys, listen to that.
It's just true. It's like it's free advertisement. It's not. I'm not like going. I'm not simping for Zach or anything.
No. But what I'm saying is like, so you're saying that Star Citizen likes people talking about this?
Yes.
Because it draws more attention to the movement, right?
I think they do, but then at the same time, there's a reason they hide this. Is because they didn't like that people were talking negatively about it, because they didn't understand all the nuance of it. It's very little nuance, right? It's that people spent a lot of money over a certain amount of time, and they gave a way for people to consolidate a bunch of like individual things that didn't make sense into something that made sense to these people. There are very few people that are outright buying this package. There might be like a handful in the entire world of like 5 million people that have spent money on the game, right? So it's really just a way to consolidate all the stupid purchases that you've made.
Because like, here's 100%. What's so...
I also just finished watching this, was hoping you were playing. Well, welcome.
Here's what's so crazy about it is like, so I watched.
I will be playing a little bit. You're going to see how bad the game is today.
Too, and like the tech demo and like the server.
We're going to play the most broken possible thing in the game, so you're going to see it at its worst. Unfortunately, the game is not bad. The game is not a game yet. So my description of the game is, if you're one of the people who like buy spaceships and things like that, then you're able to see the ones that are released into the game, and you're able to use them and see how they feel, and use them in very dumbed down missions and content. It is more of like still a tech demo. If you watched any of Asmon's previous reacts to Star Citizen stuff, he's very interested in the tech. It's because that's all that's really happening at the moment. But shit, it sounds fun. Probably good to start with watching the bad parts. It can be fun. It absolutely can be fun, but you kind of have to make your own fun right now. So if you're like an Asmon enjoyer, play a lot of MMOs and things like that, a lot of the typical MMO tropes don't exist, right? There's no real progression in the game. All of, like, I'll give you an example. There's light, medium, and heavy armor. Light armor all has the exact same stats, but looks a little different. Medium armor has all the exact same stats, but each one looks a little bit different, and same with heavy, right? They haven't done any of the things that you would typically see in a video game. So you're kind of just getting a feel for what Star Citizen might be instead of what it is.
Server mesh, and I'm going to be honest, man.
Guys, just watch the Bed Bananas Jumptown video. It's the best gameplay there is. It's literally a made-up video to make a movie on YouTube. Come on, that's like it's scripted, bro. That's not real. Like, what the fuck?
I can see why you gave him money. that shit was really promising and it looked amazing. I haven't seen a single thing that has ever been better than that. That's the best I've ever seen of anybody ever. So I get why people are giving the money. I totally do understand it. But
yeah, and they've consistently been putting out content over the last 12 years that have always made them look like the best stuff out there. Like, this game might be amazing, you know?
11 years, you know, like, how much money do you think they...
I don't know. I feel like I take more rounds with heavy armor, plus I run slower. Yes. So, but every single heavy armor has the exact same stats. There's no uniqueness to the to each individual type of heavy armor. That's what I'm saying.
Need to finish the game.
Heavy armor is different than light, though.
I'll put it like this: they have the money to finish it. The issue was,
that's not true.
Like 8 years.
What did he just say?
Get why people are giving the money. I totally do understand.
That's not true.
But after 11 years, you know, like, how much money do you think they need to finish the game?
I'll put it like this: they have the money to finish it. The issue was,
they do not have the money to finish the game. That is not even an opinion. That is a fact. That is a fact. They release their financial statements all the time. They're spending about as much as they make every year. And over the last 2 years, they have spent significantly more. They have needed to go. That is not true. Am I telling a lie? Because when they release their financial statements, they essentially come about even every year, which is what every business tries to do, so they don't have to pay taxes or whatever, right? So I'm sure they're fumbling things a little bit or fudging things a little bit to make it look that way, like every big business does. But the choices that they've been making over the last few years is, as far as what they're selling, what they're willing to sell, they need the money to finish the game. Now, the one positive that you could take from this is they are absolutely spending a majority of this money on the development. We don't know how much they spent on CitizenCon and how much they got in return from CitizenCon. I think the CitizenCon probably netted a pretty big return, right? Lots of people were pretty happy with what they saw there. So I imagine they made a lot of money because of that. I think the result of this year's this year's Invictus launch week or whatever, their big ship sale, did really well. I'm sure that that's piggybacking off of what we saw at CitizenCon, right? They did great. But the money has been spent. So they don't have $700 million in the bank. The money's been spent. Most of it's been spent on the development of the game. The only thing that you can call them out for is Chris Roberts, the CEO, works there. His brother works there. His wife works there. And some of his friends work there, or like people that he's done business with in the past. And they have investors besides us. And there's some really weird claims out there that I don't know if are true or not, but maybe aren't, that those investors are like getting pieces of the ship sales and things like that. So there's some really weird shit that goes on that you can call out as like, whoa, that's fucking weird. But for the most part, the money is being spent on the development of the game, and they have spent it. And some people will say they have wasted it. To some extent, they probably have wasted money. They've made lots of mistakes over the years. People make mistakes. It sucks, but it's reality, right? We can shit on them all we want for the mistakes they made. That's fine. You want to do that? You could do that. I do it plenty. I don't feel like doing it right now in this moment because we could talk about it for 5 hours. Or you can kind of look at them now and go, they're being not as bad, so I guess it's not as bad, right? And that's pretty much what is happening now. But they do not have the money to finish the game today. No chance, no way, no how. Because it's not just one game, it's two. And the fear is, if they release Squadron 42, that they are not going to spend the money made on Squadron 42 on the PU. They will just continue to sell ships and do the same thing that they've been doing to finish the persistent universe. And they're gonna like keep that money for the nepotism thing that I mentioned. Is the fear that people have? I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but it's certainly a fear.
They put out
financials do not describe what has been explained. Okay, I mean, listen, I'm not an accountant, but they do have a bank of money, I would assume, but they have spent most of the $700 million. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm sorry, Asmon, I
a
paused.
survey to like all the people that pledged and was like, do we want to complete the game?
Is it nepotism or is it just family owned and run? All I'm saying is the fears that people have. That's it. I don't know if it's nepotism or not. I'm not saying it is, right? These are the things that people say. These are the things that people point out. I'm sure there's some nepotism. Okay? It is what it is. Shit happens. And is family owned and run, is that devoid of nepotism? Like, or does the son just magically have a job and doesn't have to think about or stress about anything for the rest of his life if the business is successful? Like, that's still nepotism too. It's just, you know, they might be nice people. Chris seems really nice. Sandy was super sweet, right? I talked to Aaron very little, right? They're all nice people.
Do you want to just give us free reign to do whatever we want because we want to make this the most realistic space simulator of all time?
Right.
And of course, all the idiots are like, we want the most realistic thing that you could possibly get, which literally gave them free reign, and there's no end in goalpost, right? And then when I started bringing this up, because I pretty much got blacklisted, I can't even buy ships on the black market that they have.
So so is it a black market or is it a gray market that's facilitated by the devs? How does this work?
I guess it's more gray market, right? So you are allowed to sell ships.
What is this guy talking about?
There's X amount of times you can transfer a ship. It's usually like one, right? So I can buy a ship that's limited time, and then later on I can sell it.
So you can't buy and sell them as commodities. That's why there's a transfer limit. Is that the logic?
Yes.
How did you get blocked from the? How did you get blocked from the gray market? Like, what did you have to say? Like, I don't even know what the gray market website is or anything like that.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So it's out there. You could search for it. There's like multiple ones, and people buy ships on it that you can't usually get anymore, right? Or you can't get lifetime insurance on it, because once the ship has lifetime insurance when you bought it, it keeps all those perks that the ship has.
So that's like transferred over to the new owner.
Yes.
This guy
and then
for
also,
the ATI stuff,
so they
LTI
release
stuff.
motorcycles, which is like $25 or $30.
Sure.
And somebody will buy like 100 of them.
It's what we call LTI tokens. So you take it and then you upgrade
and it has lifetime insurance, but you can upgrade it. So
LTI
those perks
tokens
will upgrade to the next ship you upgrade to, right? Of a higher value.
So you start with lifetime insurance on a bad ship, and then you purchase your way up to a good ship, so you can have lifetime insurance on the good ship. So
now what this guy is not telling him is lifetime insurance is not a perk worth doing this for. They have explicitly said it over the entire 12 years, 13 years of the game's development, is that lifetime insurance is like a very minuscule fee that you're going to have to pay. Like, if you purchased a real money ship, you are not going to lose that ship. There's no way. It's like this little bonus, and I'll give you the context. I've told the story a lot on my stream, but there's probably some people here that don't know me or haven't heard the story before, right? I found out about Star Citizen because I was playing a game called Ultima Online, and on the forums about that game, Chris Roberts was involved in that, and the CEO of Star Citizen, he was involved in Ultima Online, so people were like, oh, this is Chris Roberts' new project or whatever. And I was like, holy shit, this looks like a scam. What is Kickstarter? This is super weird. I was like, hard avoid, and I went back to playing UO. Then Linus Tech Tips posted a video with Luke that basically legitimized the game for me. And I was like, oh, maybe it's not a scam if Linus and Luke say it's okay. So I fell for it. And I decided to get like the $45 package as well, right? But I got my package literally the day that LTI ended. So the day they decided to no longer sell LTI, I got my package. Nothing changed, right? Nothing changed. I didn't lose any, like, I basically never lost anything. I don't do any of this LTI chain bullshit, and I just play the game. Nothing has changed. This does nothing, and it will do nothing, or it'll do very little in terms of an advantage for players, unless they decide later on in the game's development when it's more close to release, that they have to make it really worth it, and they change things around. And if that's the case, I'll probably be pissed off for like 5 minutes and not really care, and it'll just be over. But the idea of LTI being this thing is when they got rid of it, they saw how many people wanted it. And since this upgrade system had existed, they noticed that people were taking the smaller ship that had LTI on it and upgrading to larger ships, like some of the ones down here, to have that LTI on it because they sold them later. They also basically sold ships like, have you ever watched a YouTuber that says, you know, this is my merch drop, it's never going to come out again? They essentially sold ships back then like that. There was like a gas miner that did that, and I really wanted this gas mining ship because that's kind of the content that I think I'll probably be playing in the game, but it was never available again. So I just had to sit there with my little $45 ship and be like, I'll earn it in the game eventually. LTI is lifetime insurance. So if you play the game right now, everybody has LTI. So what we understand about how LTI works is you basically are always going to get your ship back. So when your ship explodes, you press a button and you claim it back through insurance. You get that ship back for free. Currently, you get it back with all of your upgrades to the ship. I think the intention, excuse me, I think the intention long term, possibly, is that you will not get the upgrades back and you will only get the base ship back. That's essentially what LTI has been described as, is that you will pay nothing and you will get your ship back, but it will only be the base ship with the stock components, and stock components generally suck. Actually, in the most recent patch, they have made them worse. Okay, so they're trying to create a disparity between stock and upgraded. So now they're making LTI actually worse than it's ever been. Now, everybody is simulating playing with LTI right now because the game is in alpha. Your ship blows up all the time because of a bug. So they essentially give you what LTI would be now. In the future, your ships will no longer have LTI if they don't, and you might have to pay a small fee in-game to get it back. General insurance in games. If you've ever played Eve, you get a little money back when your ship explodes. You don't get the ship back, right? But other games that you insure items for, you get the item back if you pay the fee, right? If you've ever played a game like a Star Citizen Competitor, Elite Dangerous, I think you get the like enough money to get the ship back or something like that, or you're able to just generally buy the ship back with a menu. So that's kind of how that.
They're not directly selling it.
Hello, we just captured the Xeno Idris. Nice,
but they're selling it through extension by you kind of upgrading over a period of time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes. But they've gotten rid of lifetime insurance, right? So
this is a complete legacy feature.
Yes, it's a legacy.
Okay.
They have not gotten rid of lifetime insurance either. This person doesn't know what they're talking about anymore, unfortunately. I think they're kind of out of the game and maybe just an Asmon enjoyer. They brought back lifetime insurance in order to make more ship sales. So when new concept ships come out, for example, ships that are just pictures like this piece of shit, they essentially put LTI on those to make them more desirable to the dummies.
Like if you click on one of them on one of the ships during the regular through the ship right there tab that you have next to the packages, it should tell you it's insurance. It usually comes with, right? And then they have different versions. They have like War Bond.
Is it under like tech interview or tech specifications? Structural.
The guy pledged Star Citizen, but now kind of left the game on the side. Yeah, but then why is he telling you? Why is he the one talking to Asmon?
Insurance it has.
They
could have gotten rid of it. I haven't looked. Like I've said, I haven't looked at the shop in so long.
Yeah.
He's like kind of on it, but also not on it.
Yeah, I mean, the ships, to be honest, this ship looks pretty cool. Like, I understand it entirely.
It's badass.
But like, yeah.
That's a limited time one. So when they bring it out, I want to say it sells for like $700.
$700.
The guy's an idiot, to be honest. I don't know, man. The guy's a person. So maybe we should chill out a little bit on that. He just isn't involved in the game. That doesn't make him an idiot. He actually sounds a lot smarter than some of us who play the game all the time. We might be the idiots here, guys.
Right?
Just so you know.
It's not even in the game yet, except for...
Oh, did he just say the Javelin 700? It's $3,000, by the way, or 3,500, something like
ships,
that.
Right? And when it hits the store, it sells out within like
out of date knowledge doesn't make someone dumb.
And
wait,
crazy.
Whenever you say sells out, are you telling me that they only sell a certain amount of them?
Yeah, I don't have this. I've never paid that, right? But I've just slowly upgraded, and I bought like just upgraded over time with certain packages and stuff. So, but yeah, people go insane. So when you play the game, right? So you're like, I buy that ship. It's not in game. So what they do, they give you loaner ships in game right now.
Okay, yeah,
so you'll get like
true.
5 different types of ships you can use until.
What do you get? What loaners do you get for this? I don't have this thing either.
Comes out.
Okay, so it's not, so you're buying a ship that doesn't exist. Well,
Dude,
you're buying a ship.
Half of the ships don't even exist. They used to have them on the what's it called, the roadmap on. We plan to release this, and this, but then they revamped it because people were complaining because they kept releasing new designs of ships, or they'll come out with like some random ship that nobody wanted, and they haven't even finished half the ships that people have bought.
So basically,
that implies that there's 400 ships that have been sold, right? Or something like that.
People are just...
I think it's a lot more than half have been made. I'm not even sure on this one, guys. There's so many fucking ships.
They're buying ships. Well, I mean, the ships never existed because they're in a game, but...
And then what determines a ship like the Javelin? Like, is the Javelin considered as much of a ship as, like, a ground vehicle? So, like, if we go ahead and say 90% of the ships are released, when it's going to take them 3 years to develop this one?
Even in the game, they don't...
So then they're going to have to draw 15 more pictures in order to pay to develop this one?
Exist.
Is that...
The majority of them, yeah.
It's
my dumbass
for a game that doesn't exist.
NFT. We are buying NFTs.
Well, you're not.
Hammerhead, Vanguard,
because
and
in NFT,
cargo.
you can transfer it as many times as you want.
Oh, you're correct. Yeah. So,
it's worse.
I mean, it's worth less than an NFT on most of them.
Yeah. No, exactly.
The Javelin's not finished.
Okay, so people can transfer them and sell them to each other through this marketplace. And outside of that, you basically probably can't.
Somebody in chat said, "Tell CoffeeZilla."
Can't do that unless you buy unless you buy an account wholesale. Is that pretty much accurate?
Well, you talking about like from the site? Yeah. In order to get an account through the site, you gotta pledge something. You know.
So let's talk.
Or do the free flight.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the Admirals Club and the concierge levels, because this is very interesting to me. So, how does this work?
All right, so like nobody knows about it. I didn't even know about it until I kept upgrading, and then I just got an email saying, "Hey, welcome to the Admirals Club."
So it's not advertised anywhere. It's not like expressed anywhere. So like, do you think that they don't show that because like they're worried that it could create like bad press, or like is there ever any like?
Yes.
Have they ever addressed why they don't make it public?
That's literally why.
No, it's I'm pretty sure it's public.
They were getting constant bad press on like Kotaku and all those other stupid websites. Bad PR is still PR. I think it has worked out for them, but I don't think maybe you guys haven't been around long enough. No, concierge isn't. I don't believe concierge is public. None of the concierge packages, you don't see them if you're not concierge and things like that, right? There are hidden packages because they were tired of having to explain themselves for this, which they should have to explain themselves for this because it's insane, right? Yeah, sustained bad PR can't be good. Exactly.
I just never came across it, right?
Sure, okay.
Like,
It originally was public, and then they put it private because I believe they were tired of it. And I'm just gonna say it. They have not done well with the criticism that they have gotten. They have, you know, when he talked about the roadmap and then putting the roadmap behind closed doors as well, things like that. They called people roadmap watchers. Remember that, right? Like anytime there has been excessive criticism about the way they do things, CIG and the company at large has not handled that criticism well, right? They've called us noisy backers and have done really stupid shit, for lack of better words. They have not handled it well. They have not handled their criticism well at all.
You have that, but I do know when they do tech releases or like they're doing patch releases that they have Evo Cody people, which I want to say they're like beta testers and like people that have spent a lot of money on the game.
I mean, maybe, right? So Evo Cody people are people that have done the most bug reports and have also played the game a lot. Does that probably equate to a lot of people who spent a lot of money? Yes, but I don't think they're looking at the number pledged, right? I mean, nowadays they invite clueless streamers too. Yeah, like it's turned out to be like Evo Cody's turned into a shit show, which is their like NDA, like they have an NDA playtest that to make sure that basically the like reports that are made on bugs and feedback is really condensed and easy to understand because it can get a little crazy when it's opened up to the public. And yeah, like Aimless says he's Evo, I'm nowhere near concierge. They do not base it off how much you've spent. So this person again doesn't really know what they're talking about.
They get into this special group that can test things without anybody else seeing it. And then there's all...
They changed the NDA because they want people to talk about it. They changed the NDA because they couldn't stop people from talking about it. Let's be real.
And then there's another phase after that they allow...
Yeah, Blues isn't it and only has one ship. Yeah, like it's...
people
that's like bullshit what he said.
Check out the test universe. It's called PTU, Public Test.
Now, he got this part wrong as well.
Test universe, and then they have.
And how much money do you have to spend to get into the public test universe?
$10.
Like I'm part. Well, once it's released to the public, it's pretty much anybody has the account. But then there's like another one that's just for the Admiral people. Like
okay, so this is
called PTU, but it's just released to us.
Pre-watched. He just said it. I was responding to what he said, but whatever. I pre-watched up to like here, dude. I didn't pre-watch, and I haven't seen any of this. I just wanted to see if it was worth it to watch this. So what they did was, it used to be what he said it is, where it was $1,000 spent, and you get into the first public playtest. Then they removed it and made it so you have to spend $25,000 to get into the first public playtest, or spend $10 on a subscription to the game, which is even crazy.
So once you spend $1,000, you get into that one. But you'd have to find.
Yeah, that's not true. That's old knowledge.
Okay. I used to be in this. They have companies that it's kind of like a guild. That's what it is. It's a guild, and there's some that have interview questions, and they make you send a location of where you're at with your picture, like of a sign, so they can look at your address and know that you live there, because they're worried that it's going to turn into like that Eve stuff, with all the espionage.
So you're telling me that you have to dox yourself to get into these companies so they can hold your real life hostage if you betray them?
Pretty much the big name companies, and they're huge. They have like hundreds of thousands of members, right? It's crazy. And I knew when I was in one of them, I had what's it called?
What?
5.
I've never heard of this either.
With that had multiple of those Legatus packages. That's the only reason why I know.
How? Like, so actually, here's a better question. Can poor people play this game, or is it just like?
Yes.
Is it just like real life?
Let's be honest.
Yacht Club. True. So, if you guys aren't familiar with the Yacht Club, I think this is one of the most toxic things in the game. Everybody who's on like the Yacht Club podcast or whatever, those guys are all nice people, right? They're super sweet people. They're great. They're great people. But the org that they're in is around this ship called the 890 Jump, which is like a space yacht. So they're in the Yacht Club. But you're not allowed to be in the club unless you bought the ship for real money. So if you bought the ship in-game for in-game credits, you're just a pleb loser, and you're not allowed to be in the game, even though you're an enjoyer of the ship. Right? That's my understanding. Is that not true? I've been told that for years. So I don't want to be saying the wrong things here. I actually like these people. They're really nice people. But that's my understanding around the that specific org, and it's super toxic if it's true. Can be in the club if you don't own the 890 jump. Maybe they opened it up. It used to be the 890 Jump Enjoyers Club. They have the same one with the Intel ship, right? You can't be in the club unless you have it. The only way to get it is to spend like $1,500. The Saber Raven,
We'll play this game, right?
Right.
Because somehow,
that's a separate club. That club does exist, though, right? The 890 Jump Club or whatever. You're in the club and you don't know the 890. Is there a difference between the podcast? I'm talking about the 890 Jump Club. I thought they were the same thing, so that's the mistake that I'm making. But that club literally exists, right? I'm just mixing them up with the podcast guys who are super sweet. But it's the same people for the most part.
Decisions.
Gotcha.
Okay, so poor people can play the game through a series of bad financial decisions.
Hey, that's why
there
they're
it is.
Poor, right? As you always say.
Yep, there it is, and you're right. Okay, that is incredible. So why would they buy multiple $25,000 packages?
That's what video games are? What?
They are prepping. These individuals think that this game is going to be as big or bigger than Eve. And you know how Eve is. You know, once you have your company or guild.
It will be bigger than Eve. They got a lot of fucking work to do.
Or whatever you want to call it. They always have the best ships, right? And multiple of them. And this is how they're guaranteeing that they have the ships.
Like the Titan ships and everything. Yeah, I get it.
Pretty much, yes. That's a guarantee. Now, don't get me wrong. That gentleman that said he has like 45, I hope he's a gentleman. Sorry, whatever.
Sure.
But has said he has 45 ships. He only bought one and got the other ones in games. So yeah, you can get them in games, but they're millions and millions of credits, right? So it's a grind. So you can get the cheapest and you can grind up to it, right?
I understand. Okay, that makes sense.
I mean, Eve is very niche, so it will be. I think we're talking about Eve at its height.
And
not now.
You've spent over $1,000, so you're technically part of this concierge club. And do you enjoy any benefits that are provided to you by the people that make the game as a result of you being part of the chairman's club?
Bro, he only spent it and I know it's crazy saying only. He only spent $1,000. You get no benefits at this point for spending $1,000. The only benefit you get is notifications to spend more money. That's it.
Look, I won't lie. I haven't used any of the benefits from the Chairman's Club.
Could you?
I mean, I guess I could.
Theoretically.
Yeah. I mean, I get emails, so I know when
he gets emails to buy shit. That's it.
I get access to them.
At this level, that's all they do now.
Before they're released, right?
Again, you used to get first-time access to the PTU when it opened up, which is the exciting time for the game. Like, let's be real here. Live is just as busted as the PTU, right? So you're getting to play the game. It's essentially the Ubisoft thing that Asmon mentioned is like spend $130 and you get the game 3 days earlier. It's the same thing. CS ticket support, I don't think is really a thing anymore.
So
they say it is, but I don't think it is. There's too many people.
That's why most of the ships I think get bought out because the chairmans and the ones above me know that they're coming out.
Yeah.
And they just eat it up before it even releases. And then once it's released to everybody in the public, it's already sold out.
Well, in this case, it'll be like 3 weeks
So
earlier,
it's actually, and like it's not really sold out, right? It's just that they stopped selling it because they want more people to buy it. Okay.
Yeah, how the hell can you sell out of a digital item?
Well, I mean, you can ask them. So, what are your thoughts now? Like, you've obviously spent you spent $1,000 on the game. Do you think
hearing all the good stuff left with Sandy is the CEO's wife, and she was doing a lot of the marketing and this kind of stuff. Sandy left when the company was a lot smaller and the game's backer base was a lot smaller. None of the stuff that Sandy was doing could scale to the way the game is now. There's no way that this kind of support ticket system can scale. You've been waiting 2 days for a CS ticket. Exactly, right? It's bullshit.
That money was well spent. Do you think that it was like you regret it? Like, where are you at?
Well, let's be honest. Yeah, I wasted my money.
Somebody
Anything
in Zach's
online,
chat said
you know,
that
I do the
the
dollar
concierge
per hour
tickets get
rule type thing.
answered much faster.
I have not reached 1,000 hours in this, and I'm not even having fun because there's no release. There's nothing. It's not even a game. It's just a test.
Based.
Right, honestly.
Okay.
Let's. They can literally close up shop tomorrow.
Okay.
And be like,
True.
oh, we couldn't do it, and we
It's
can't
too
do
bad.
anything,
Right, yeah.
because you pledged. It's like Kickstarter.
I know. I watched the Amber Heard trial. I remember this. Yeah, no, I remember this exactly. And so yes, so basically, and is this like a common perspective that people that spend a lot of money then become jaded, or are like, does the community regard?
Does anyone mention the refund Reddit to him?
Are you as like a
There's an entire
betrayer,
Reddit.
or as a person who has seen the light?
But back when I cared and I would argue with people, they were like, "Oh, you don't have faith. You lost faith." I'm like, "No, I want what they promised at the timeline they promised it." But people like you are so cucked by these people that you allow them to just move goalposts and you don't hold them accountable, right?
Right.
So as long as nobody's holding Chris Roberts accountable, we're never going to get this game, because they want it to be so realistic. Like, they are designing the ships to be modular. That's how they're getting down to the part where you can swap out a cargo bay.
Oh,
for a
like
med
with
bay.
Star Citizen, or not Star Citizen? Fuck, this is what we're talking about with Starfield.
Yeah, but they've been
yeah,
doing this
okay.
before Starfield, but it's
Sure,
going to
yeah.
look better, because it's going to be, it's supposed to be seamlessly
it's hard not
changed.
to. Yeah, but like I'm just saying, like, that's like it's like a 1-to-1 kind of like a conceptual comparison, right? Okay, I get that.
Yeah, so and they have all these people who have spent so much money. Like, I could be one of them,
Right.
And just be like, no, that's going to come. I mean, let's be honest.
So you think it's like sunk cost fallacy? Is that what you're
100%.
getting
It's
at?
pretty much. I think
Okay.
they're at that point to where they put so much in, they have to believe it's going to happen, right?
Okay.
I mean, $1,000 over 5 years for me. That's really not crazy,
No, that's like really kind of reasonable for almost any hobby. I mean, fuck, people that play Warhammer probably spend that on a weekend.
Exactly.
So yeah, I get that. I understand.
Like that's the thing that people aren't putting together, is like, over the course of so long, you might throw a little bit more into the game, and then eventually you hit that $1,000 number or whatever, right? So it's not that big of a deal to get up to the amount of money that this guy spent. The thing that Asmon's trying to get into, and we're only 28 minutes into this video, is...
Well, I mean, I want to say, man, there's a couple of other
For the
people I'm going to talk to
48,000
about the whole
people.
situation, and so I'm going to probably try to call one of them and see what's going on. But I want to say, like, I had no idea about this. Like, I did this. This is crazy. Like, this seems like a pretty deep rabbit hole to go down. Like, this is nuts. Holy shit. So thank you very
Tyler,
much,
but-
man. I really appreciate
Exactly.
you coming
So
on.
you're
problem.
the
If
same
you
in a
have
game
any
that you
more,
like.
just let me know. I mean, I'll send you more screenshots of whatever.
boy,
I don't
oh
care.
boy.
Whatever.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you coming on. I'll see
Somebody
you
in
later, man.
Asmon's chat says, I think
thanks,
this is a
boss.
All right,
dev.
peace.
It's not.
Man.
Who's the next guy?
Guess what? We got a round 2. We got somebody else. Hey, what's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. How you
No,
doing?
it's not Burks.
I'm doing good, sir. How are you doing?
I am
Is
fantastic.
he listening to the stream and not...
And I was looking at this thing. Obviously, this is sketch therapy from
Oh my
in chat. We had a
no. So this is okay. This is my biggest hater. This is my biggest hater on the planet. There is nobody bigger. There is no bigger hater than me. Guys, I am living so rent-free in his head that I am living in an LA mansion that costs $100,000 a month in this guy's head. It's absolutely wild. Now, what I hope to hear is that when he's on like in voice with somebody, he's a little bit more reasonable than the absolutely insane things that he types about me in
a little
Twitch
bit of
chats.
friction getting him on
Let's see.
Discord. Welcome to the stream. So you've spent money on Star Citizen. Is this correct?
I spent a little, nothing
You hope he
like
blames me?
what
Probably
he's
not.
talking about. And I spent on the MMO mode. This person, and there are some people that are very bitter, about the majority of the community leaning into the MMO mode and steering away from campaign mode. At some point, there was a big vote.
He was in Henkin's chat earlier this morning. You were mentioned. Well, like, exactly. Like, what the fuck,
And say, all you people who paid money, let's see what you want. And the vote.
His arguments were far better than the first one. Okay.
Went, hey,
Yeah,
we
we'll
like
hear him out.
MMO. It's like GTA, but in space. And the people that said, no, we want more campaign mode, lost. Some of them stayed very bitter.
Well,
the
campaign mode is...
I want my campaign mode.
Right, that's Squadron like 42, right?
That's the Squadron 42.
So they're still getting it. It's just that it's a separate game.
It's a separate game, yes.
How much money did you spend?
First I spent $45, then I spent about 20 more for upgrades, but this is like over years.
What made you stop spending money? What made you stop spending money? Like, you were spending money, you haven't spent money.
I have the same access and I can get all of the same ships in game, so I have no need to spend money. Like, so all of these games, you see that one 890? I can just buy that in game. It's easy to get credits.
Really? Okay, so like this big ship right here, it looks like kind of like a space Titanic.
That's all true.
You can just buy this yourself.
That, but I didn't pay real cash. I have that because I did a couple of missions.
How many missions? How long did it take for you to farm this? Like hours?
About 2 days, 3 days.
That doesn't mean you could play, like, is this 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 12 hours a day? How long?
Okay, let's say I play 4 hours a day, about 4 days, let's say.
Okay, so 16 hours nets you this ship. How much money is it?
That one was 32 million when I bought it, but
okay, I get it now. Okay, I totally understand. It's not BS at all. It's not BS at all. He is talking about the previous patch, where and even the current patch, is that there was insane... Again, the game doesn't exist. The game is broken. So there was insane ways to make money, that you can make money so easily that you were able to get these things. But there are wipes, and this stuff goes away. The intention for the game is this is like a very difficult thing to get, and that you have to grind many, maybe months for, right?
I was doing missions that I could get 2 million, 3 million. I was doing salvage. And when you would salvage these ships,
exactly.
Sometimes these ships you salvage, they had cargo in it. And you can sell.
He's honest, but Asmon doesn't have any of the context. Like, it was completely broken, and they removed that aspect. Well, sort of. You could still do this. You could still make a lot of money in the current game like this as well. They haven't removed it entirely yet.
Sell the cargo.
Yeah, ERTs are really good.
So I would just sell the cargo. Sometimes it would drugs. So I would sell the drugs in the ships that I was salvaging, and I made like 200 million. So I got almost every ship in the game.
And all the developers said how it broke the economy, but we're conveniently not talking about that.
Because as soon as a game is flyable, as soon as a ship is flyable in game, you could just buy it in an in-game store. So every time they have...
That's not true as well. As soon as the ship is flyable in-game, it is not available in the in-game store.
Have a new content ship that's released, you don't have to suffer the FOMO. If you wait a patch, by the next patch, it's buyable in-game. They don't
they did a bad job of explaining it to Asmon. Yeah, but at the same time, is this not a really nerve-wracking thing? I would probably do a bad job explaining it to Asmon, right? Let's be real here. Not all of us have all of the information. Listen, this guy, again, is my biggest hater, but I'm not going to tell him that, he's doing a horrible job explaining it.
Because if they pile...
I'm just going to give the context in between. That's all.
I have that ship. I have most of these ships. I have them.
This is a cool ship.
If you paywall, I have a lot of cool ships. If you paywall anything for a long time, the people hate you.
Right.
So what they do is...
Okay, he's clarifying.
Okay,
here we go.
Let's only paywall it for a little while, and let's make all the credits exchangeable. So let's say you bought this ship, and you want to upgrade it, but then you change your mind, and you want to buy a really cheap ship. Well, you could turn it into credits, buy a cheap ship, buy a whole bunch of ships in-game, and the other money you spent You could exchange it for paints or guns or whatever,
so,
and not ever spend again.
So here's the problem that I have with what you're saying, and I'm curious to how you're going to respond to this. If it's so fucking easy to get these ships in game, then why the fuck are people giving the developers $50,000?
Some people spend $15,000 at the tables in Vegas. Who am I to judge how people spend their money? Some people are just rich.
Okay.
Fair.
Some people, they spent $1,000.
The people who are spending $50K are not regular people who have normal jobs.
But they spent $5, $10 a month and watched it more than they watched their Netflix over 3 years, and they slowly got up there.
So you think that actually, like, you are a Star Citizen believer, is that correct?
Oh, yes.
I am a Star Citizen.
Oh, yes.
Believer in you're responsible for your purchases. So if you don't have money for big ships, you know for a fact, if you're a player, that you don't have to. You can wait.
But again, the idea of that you could just buy all of these things in game, yes, in the current extremely broken game where they have paid no attention to the economy whatsoever, but they are actively at this moment making it harder and harder and harder to get these things.
For the next patch and just buy a little game. The game isn't going to play itself.
Way more informed than the last patch.
Well, let's talk about the game playing itself. Do you think the game's ever going to release?
I hope it doesn't.
You
Games
hope it doesn't?
Games that get released treat their players like garbage.
So, wait,
hold up. I like MMOs because they got to keep the people happy.
Whoa, okay. Let me... all right, we got to step back for a second. So you're saying... Well, like, how does the MMO come out? How do people play the game if it doesn't get released? Like, what do you mean by... I think that
because the
framing of the
word release has this false meaning. That is like you can't play it right now on Twitch. You browse, look for Star Citizen. You're gonna find. Let me check. I can check for a second. You're gonna find like 1,000 people playing the game. So when he says it's not released, that's kind of a lie because you can play it right now.
So I could log on right now and I could play Star Citizen.
And Tarada and Detox.
There's 5,000 people playing it right now.
There's a lot of people
there's 5,000 people watching.
Surprising amount of people actually.
Look at this guy, Burks. Real nice guy. Lots of people watching. Great guy. There's a lot of people playing the game. So when they say it hasn't released, these are...
If I was streaming at this time, I could only imagine what would be said.
People bitter that their GTA campaign mode didn't come out like they wanted. And when they want it, and they're mad because they want that MMO mode. Not everyone. I don't want to cast judgment, but some people.
Are you over 25 years old?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you remember...
Yeah, we were playing Eve at this time.
I'm a 3rd Infantry veteran.
Oh, there it fucking is. All right. And so you remember the ancient text of whenever a game would come out and it would be called feature complete, right?
True.
You remember that? Where like a game...
people say that, but lately that's meaningless.
Whoa.
I'd rather hear the truth. Hey, it's not really finished.
Okay. Well... Wouldn't you want to hear something better than the truth, which would be that it is going to be finished eventually, right? Like, because like I'm sure that they have features that they're planning on adding, and these features aren't fully completed.
Well, I've seen it personally. You've seen it. I've seen them increase the server size. Like the last server test was 800 players in one player shard,
and it didn't work.
All with different ships.
Did they have to do any time dilation? Did they have?
No, they didn't have to do time dilation. The server time dilated itself. Holy shit!
Through any Eve does time dilation. That's my understanding.
No. It's
no
all
time dilation.
It's all like...
Okay, this is complete bullshit. All right, this is actually complete bullshit. I played the 800 player test. I played the 600 player test. I played the 400 player test. And guys, you wake up in a bed. So if you're not familiar with Star Citizen, you load into the game, you're in a bed staring at the top of your bed. I press Y, that's how you get up in the bed. Do you know how long it took to get up out of the bed? What is time dilation? Eve slows time down because the servers can't handle anything, to the point where like inputs happen over the course of like a minute or 30 seconds. Like attack that guy over there, click it, a minute later it happens. I think that's how it is. In Star Citizen, I pressed Y and it took anywhere between 5 and like 10 minutes for me to actually get up out of the bed. Once I got up out of the bed, now there's certain things that I can see on my client, like my computer, so I was able to like walk around, right? Except when I got up out of my bed, for whatever reason, I got up out of the wrong side of the bed. So I clipped through the window. I was at the top of an apartment building. The only thing I could do is jump. I jump, I land on the ground like Superman. I don't die. 5 minutes later, the game realized that I had fallen, and I died.
There's no shortcuts. Like it's all real time.
In that specific playtest that he's talking about, it's all in real time. It didn't work, and they have not done that playtest since because they're not going back to the drawing board, but they're going to deal with those issues. And do I think it will work eventually? Yes. Is this person being disingenuous right now? Yes. Right. I think he is purposely making it seem like the situation is better than it was. Will it eventually work? I do believe so. I do. I truly do believe. But it didn't work at that moment.
You can move faster, but there's no what do you call it? Loading screen.
Asmon, what is Admin's YouTube? What is his algorithm? He looked up Star Citizen playtest. What is this?
It's like GTA. Basically, you're playing GTA in space.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at this video. It says Star Citizen 800 players together.
Yeah, that's.
This is what we're talking about. This is all the players.
That's all the players.
There's no players, and half of these are sitcom videos that from the same demo that Asmon watched.
All going to different. It's huge. It's like GTA, but like 1,000 times bigger.
Right. Okay. So all of this stuff is available to do right now.
Right now.
You can do all this right now.
No.
The server meshing test for 800 players was already done. It's supposed to go up. It was successful. They're supposed to integrate it.
It was not successful. It was not successful. Okay? The successful test was around 200 players. Okay? And that's unfortunately not an MMO, but it was not successful. Was it a complete failure? No. But it was not successful. They had a lot of issues that they ran into, and there's a lot of things that they have to fix. I'm going to try to not be overly mean here, but it's just not true. Right? It kind of is. They just needed to add more servers. Yeah, you weren't there. You weren't there. So in the testing chat and things like that, they had mentioned when they added more servers, for whatever reason, things became more problematic, and they were trying to figure out why. So it's just a matter of figuring out the problem, right? So technically you're right, but whenever they added more servers, things became a problem for whatever reason, right? Because they did it. They did 100 players on one server, 200 players on two servers. 200 players on two servers, things largely worked okay. There was like an image on the screen that showed a quote-unquote problem, which is where there's like the planet spin. And right on the edge of where the planet spin was a server line. So if you threw something across that, it would get caught in the gravity of that planet and fly around. It was actually pretty cool. It was not really a problem. It was just something they would have to figure out. But when they added more servers, there were some bugs or whatever issues that happened. And they just have to resolve those problems. So, and do I think they will? Yes. But it was not a success. It was not a success. There's no way you can call that a success. If it was, we'd be playing it right now.
In a patch or two?
Yes.
Like by the end of the year, that's supposed to be done because the test was successful. They've added salvaging.
Also, someone in Asmon's chat just said only 800. Lumberyard Engine, A New World, has a lot more than 800 players.
They've added like server meshing.
Right? So in reality, the goal of the game is much further than 800 players.
Which is a very tough thing. In
This guy's a clown? I think it's hard to say he's not, but at least he's sharing mostly good information.
Computing, like real time.
What's New World player count per server? I think Asmon would know better than me, but I think it's like 2,500, 3,000.
Like you remember, you saw a video where they go like real time. You can do that in the game now. It's not like, oh, they're gonna be able to do that.
New World does run like shit. Yes,
I have to buy an expensive ship to do that. Like, what if I spend $100? Can I get a ship that can do that?
No, you don't need to spend $100. $45.
Okay.
No, Asmon asked if I buy a ship, can I do all that stuff? So ships are like your armor, and you're not going to be able to mine in the $45 ship, right? Technically, you can, I guess, with the multi-tool or whatever, but in reality,
just try it. All I'm saying is just try it for $45. You don't have to get all the chat to pay it.
Right,
it's just $45. Just get in the MMO. There's going to be bugs because...
Well, chat's going to give them all the money.
They're working out a way for the MMO to have a lot of people. They want Eve first person.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, it's going to be hard to do that. I feel like it's possible. And like, if you can have 800 players, so were you part of that 800 player test?
I was, but I'm not in the video.
Okay. What was your experience doing that? And was it laggy? Was it problematic? What happened?
You can tell the difference a little bit when you move from one server to the other. There's like a little bit of a boundary thing.
He wasn't in the 800 player test.
You ever played
like
WoW?
When you throw a missile, it'll kind of like veer off a little.
Did you ever play WoW before?
It's like the first version.
Have you ever played WoW?
No shot he was in the 800 player test then.
I haven't, but I've seen your videos on it. I'm a big fan of your work in general.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
You know, brown nose, but it's just a fact.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I was asking because, like, you know, in WoW, like, you go from phases and, like, server, like, shards as well. And, like, you can kind of tell whenever it's happening, whenever, like...
No, I was in the playtest.
Players despawn and respawn. I was curious if it was the same thing, if you had played it. But, yeah, I'd have to see it for myself.
No.
Okay.
There's no despawning because that would be like a loading screen between servers, and they don't do that. The whole thing is to avoid that and make it so, like, let's say I drop a gun next to a bunker... I'll be able to find that gun in 3 days still there. Nothing despawns.
So if you think that the MMO, like, when do you think that all of the features that they are expecting and promising for the MMO will be complete?
Okay, I'm hoping they never, ever stop.
Well, you would hope that they'd finish the things that they've promised, right?
So some of these people don't understand when you're asking a game to release what it means. Like, it means like what CIG is going for with 1.0, right? Is the, like, development doesn't stop, but, like, the game starts. You know what I mean? That's what he's asking for. He goes, when does the game start? And the tech demo ends.
Whenever you're saying
Why
you're hoping...
would you hope that WoW stops? Or would you hope that they keep making it better, adding areas, making it more seamless?
I think that I think there's a bit of a miscommunication. Let me see if I can ask it in a different way. So what I mean is that what you're saying is that you don't want them to stop developing the game. I agree with you. I understand that point.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is that there are core functionalities that are being promised at this point that have a beginning and end. Of course, I would want them to do additional functionalities after that and start working on those functionalities as well. What I'm saying is that for the existing functionalities that have already been promised, when do you think the timeline of those will be finished?
Well, let's see what he says.
Does that make sense?
A year, maybe 2. Like...
Oh my god.
Most of it, the biggest trouble is meshing servers, because meshing...
He is probably right about meshing, if that's what he's talking about exclusively.
It's a tough technology because you got to see which servers takes control of which thing, how many players you're having in an area.
And again, the moment they get server meshing somewhat working, I do believe that things will happen faster. But Asmon asked all of the things.
Well, if you have a lot of players in one area, you have to dynamically assign a server to them.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you're in WoW. Well, it's a big map, but a lot of the people are in one place. So let's assign a server there so that you have good interaction and you're very well synced. Right now, the sync isn't good, right? A lot of times there's a little bit of desync. It's
just a
buggy.
little bit.
It is an alpha, right? But the core technologies that they're making is very breakthrough. That's why they're working on the Star Engine. They're smart. Like, if anybody out there is a Gundam fan, well, imagine you could play a GTA in space, but it's like the Gundam Universal Century, and you could just fly your Gundam from one planet to the other.
He's not wrong about that. I don't know about Gundam shit.
Right?
That'd be fucking crazy.
They would have even more money because they could just
But the idea of what they're going for is what everyone is excited about.
license that tech out.
Of course, right? Yeah, exactly. Because people would want to use this engine if it's anywhere near what they're advertising it to be.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think it's
but
incredible.
It's not yet.
I mean, really, if you look at the tech for the game, if all of these things come out and they are as good as they're promised, this will be better than everything else.
Everything you're watching in that video is there now.
Like a lot of people fear is that's what CIG is trying to do. They're not trying to make a game. They're trying to make an engine that they can license out and be like Star Citizen is Unreal's Fortnite. Like they make a bunch of money with Fortnite and then they license out this engine and make it better and better and better, that kind of thing.
Okay. So
the tech's not there yet, but that's all they've focused on. They haven't focused on the game. They've focused exclusively on the tech. And Sketch is absolutely right about that. That's what they're focusing on. They're focusing on exclusively on the tech.
Now they so how do you feel about like these?
Nothing wrong about it. I mean, except for the fact that they use this game to fund it and have not delivered on the game. Like, I don't think it's incredibly horrible, but at the same time, a lot of people kind of want to play the game.
Really expensive purchases, like things like the $48,000 pack. Like, as somebody
if you got $48,000,
we need the tech too. Agreed.
Why am I worried about you?
Well, wouldn't that person have an advantage over you?
Yes.
No.
Yes, to some extent, but not as much as like gotcha games.
Well, then why would they
spend the money? Because I have all those same ships, but I didn't have to spend 48.
Also, he does not have those ships anymore. He does not have those ships. He had those ships. He does not have them.
$8,000.
Well, he might have duped and got them. So there's a chance he has them still. But again, there was a dupe bug. So
I don't know about that. I feel like if people are going to be spending this much amount of money, there's got to be something that they're getting out of it, whether that's saved time or money. Like at the end of the day, like, all right, let's reframe the question. Let me ask a simple question. If you have two players that are going up against each other, one player has spent $10,000, the other player has not. All other things being equal, who has the advantage?
Well, what's the goal? What is the win condition? It's GTA. I mean, I don't have to. We're not competing. You have your 10,000. Maybe you have a really high-paying job. You don't have the time to grind, so you just pay. It's your money. Who am I to judge? Right? You're not going to fly better than me.
We're not judging what people spent on the game. He's asking a simple question.
You're not going to beat me in a dogfight.
So
because I have more time to practice. So I'll just stomp you.
That's funny, because anybody who has a Hornet F7A would disagree. Versus those who didn't.
I can't argue with that logic. I can't. I mean, there are a few things I could say, but I think that makes a lot of sense. That's fucking funny, man. And
I think there's a lot of misconceptions
here. I think Asmon sees right through it.
Here, because why are we worried about people that have $48,000 to spend on? Who are these people?
Well,
why
here's
am
the
I
reason.
Worried about
Did you play Diablo Immortal?
No.
Good. So what people would do in Diablo Immortal is they would spend $10,000 and they would one-shot other players in PvP.
And Sketch is right that is not a thing in this game necessarily. Not to that extent.
and you wouldn't be able to do anything about it. That's why people are worried about it.
That doesn't work here.
It doesn't.
Nope.
So, okay. How does... So, bro,
it's FPS, man. I mean, if you get shot, you get shot. There's no amount of pretty guns and skins is gonna make your bullet better.
Yeah, but if you got 500 health, you got an advantage over somebody that's only got one.
Yeah, there's no stats like that, so you don't get 500 health. Ship versus ship, yes.
100, right? I mean,
well,
you gotta look
if you got 500 health and you know how to move that. Remember my...
Yeah, for example, Noodle, who's like a really good pilot, killed the most powerful pay-to-win ship in the $45 ship. Right? Like, it's possible. I don't know if it's possible nowadays, though, with master modes, but it's
has
possible.
500 health. The only thing is, it took me a little longer to get it.
Okay. All right, okay. So you're not concerned...
I have all the same ships.
You're not concerned...
You gotta remember that.
That's
well, he was out grinding... I'm a retired...
Uh-oh.
Right.
Where'd he go?
This is like my game therapy.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I have an advantage over the guy that has a lot of money because when he comes into the game, he doesn't know what he's doing. He has less of an advantage because it's an alpha. And I know all the latest updates. I know the latest meta. Like, what happens when a WoW player comes and spends a lot of money, but you've been playing all day, so you know the meta, and they're fans.
Well, no. At the end of the day, that guy still... I think your mic's breaking up, by the way. At the end yeah, you're good. At the end of the day, like, that guy's got the mount, right? He's got the achievement. He's got the rewards from the game. If you can...
Asmon gets it.
Buy something, they're definitely... I think it 100% cheapens the reward of the game.
Thank you is that even though you were able to grind for this thing, that is a real thing. The 890 jump is supposed to be a reward. And the fact that somebody can buy it, the Javelin is supposed to be a reward. And the fact that somebody buys it, it cheapens the reward overall. And Sketch is going to say, why do I care what they did? But in reality, some people do care about those kind of things, right? And I've tried to be respectful of Sketch, but...
So what is really, like, what's the point of the game?
I just think
other people do.
Here we go.
Have the same mount.
Yeah.
The reward of the game, it's like GTA. When you get with a whole bunch of friends in GTA and you go rob a bank, and there's events like that where you go, there's like a drug running facility, right? And there's a bunch of people that want to take over, and your guys want to take it over. It's called like a Jump Town mission. Bed Banana has a great video on it, The War for Jump Town. It's like one of their most famous, like, player playing the game videos. Bed Bananas Jump Town.
Playing the game.
Well, when you watch it, and this is like an old video, it's just a bunch of player versus player action. And these guys got basically nothing. They basically, like, ganked everybody, took their stuff, blew up their equipment. It was crazy, but because it's basically an FPS and skill.
Also, the thing is we point out like one video from one person over and over again, but we're not talking about this kind of gameplay existing day in and day out every single day, like a GTA, like an MMO, where you're going in this game and the game is delivering that kind of content to its players day in and day out. We're taking one-off anecdotal little anecdotes and saying that this is the game, when 99% of the time it's not. And it's so unfair, right?
Matters a lot
also,
more than what
extremely
ship you
edited
have.
video. Yeah.
The game becomes like this thing where the money doesn't matter. If you have a lot of money, you can jump in the game faster. That's not going to make you better.
But that's true. He's 100% right about that.
Really hard to impress.
The game is not as pay to win as a lot of the games that Asmon plays.
People,
it's just not
with buying a fancy paint or something because they got your same ship and they can do the same stuff.
There's so much skill involved.
It's real nice, and the ship you had, I just exploded.
So what would you say to people that say Star Citizen is a scam?
Well, I'd say you need to worry about your pocket instead of other people's money. Because why are you worried about what other people do with their money? Are you picketing at Vegas? Because Vegas is taking $10 and $20,000 from people at the...
It's not really deflecting. He's right. Like, why do you care what other people spend their money on? But in this case, the amount of money that people spend on Star Citizen feeds the bad behavior. Feeds the behavior like the things that they've done over the years. Like power creeping and doing other things like that. Like in general, I don't care what people do with their money, but I'm caring what CIG does to extract that money from people and how it has lessened the achievements in the game and how it's made the game worse for players like myself. And again, it's my opinion. Me and Sketch are always going to just disagree on this, and that's fine. I don't hate him for it, but MMOs that I've played and games that I played, achievements in the game are everything to me. And when you muddy those achievements and make them shit, like, you know, Asmon getting mounts and things like in WoW, well, it sucks for me. So I'm going to complain about it.
Table, you mad about who spends on game? Why aren't you picking in at Vegas? They got an unfair advantage. Is that a scam?
Yes.
Why am I worried about a guy that spends 40?
I worked in casinos for 15 years. Yes, they're a scam. Yes, they're a scam, dude.
$8,000, especially if I can get that same amount of ships for $45. Why? And that's half the price of most games right now, because most games right now are like $70.
It's getting more.
What's my number one achievement in a video game? Owning a castle in Ultima Online.
130. Yep, absolutely.
And I didn't even reach the maximum achievement. I owned a castle in Fell, which is cheaper, on Ice Island, which isn't even like a good area. Yeah, I had a full castle in UO.
So why am I worried about these people? Why am I worried about these whales? Why am I crying to the heavens? Oh no, the poor whales.
Yes, Nash.
I don't care about these people. I'm not worried about. They're probably rich. They're probably happy. They probably got a nice family, and they spent this. They spend on this instead of the tables at Vegas. And if you got a problem with spending, you need to see your doctor.
He's right. I mean, he's not wrong, but at the same time, the behavior of these people have fed bad behavior by the company. That's where things like power creep has come in, and you can't deny it.
Fact. Ain't that a fucking fact? So you think that the people that are complaining about Star Citizen are totally fucking delusional?
A lot of the people complaining aren't the people spending.
So they're just complaining for the sake of complaining. Like,
you know, I bet a lot of people that complain about your opinion on a game they never played.
I bet that's true. I agree with you. Holy shit.
I bet there's a lot of people in the chat very angry about the guy who spent $48,000, but they never played this game. They never saw it till today, but they're fuming.
They're
very angry. How dare that guy give his money?
Kind of based.
What is the most amount of money that you've heard that somebody has spent on Star Citizen?
I like Sketch a lot more today than I did any other day. I like him a lot more after today.
Well, I just saw that there's a 48,000 Legatus pack, so I'm guessing that's a thing. But, I mean, what's the most amount of money you heard somebody spent at the tables at Vegas? Are we mad at them? How many did they spend on the ponies?
Yeah, it's dumb, but like, you know,
I might unban him just so I can ban him again. Let's be real.
No, they're gonna do what they're gonna do with their own money, right? I know one guy, actually know two guys that really spend a lot of money on gambling, and so yeah, I understand it really well.
But do you judge them, or are you like, hey, it's your money?
Well, I do. I think it's a bad idea. I don't think it, like, I mean, I'm not saying, like, I do think it's a bad idea. Like, I do have an opinion about it. I do think that it is, it's dumb. I think it's dumb, but it's their money. They can do what they want with it. I see where you're coming from.
Yes, I'm with you there.
Yeah, like, I am judgmental. I am a judgmental person. However, I understand that my judgments are subjective.
Okay, but like, imagine you could get all that stuff for free, or like for $45,
right?
And you get the same stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean,
do you know what I hope happens? And it'll be so sweet. Is if when you play the game, the shit in the game is better than the shit you bought on the store.
At some point,
but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think the shit that you like craft and stuff in the game is going to be worse than the shit on the store, and you got to craft more and more and more just to get up to the pay pigs. That's probably what's going to happen.
Donating to the cause. At some point, you're giving the 48,000 because you just want to see the finished game.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Do you think that, like, I mean, they've made $700 million.
That's not enough money.
How much do you think would be enough money?
Well, let's see.
Probably
how much does it cost to pay the developers for all these years, plus the cost of AWS servers, plus you're having 800 people to shard, plus you got to pay utilities and taxes in 5 countries, right? So, I mean, when you start adding up, and you don't got a AAA backing,
4,
but you also don't have to talk to the shareholders and push it out the door, right? You don't have to put it out and release it. Right, you see that? You can get a $45 pack right now and play. People will just send you money. People will just send you $1 million because you can exchange credits like right on there, and people just give away. They're like, hey, let's do a mission together. And we do a mission together, and I've made a lot of money, so I'll just like give you a whole bunch of in-game credit.
So you can give another player credits in the game. Is that correct?
This is when Asmon decides he's going to play Star Citizen, probably. So you're telling me I can beg for money? Anybody who watches Asmon's content knows he's now interested. There's handouts, baby. There's handouts.
As much as you want from what you earned.
Wow. So, and I think that you bring up a good point. I looked this up for a frame of reference. And I'm hearing in chat that Genshin Impact is between $100 and $200 million a year to develop. So if you use that argumentation, and I bet the servers for Star Citizen are probably more in depth than Genshin Impact.
Not just in depth, unoptimized.
Then
so
$700 million is in fact not enough.
It's the worst scam ever. He's spending all the money on the game.
Yeah.
Right. And so, when do you think that when do you think that I'm thinking like the way to put it, the stereotype and
This is from chat. It's really happening. Star Citizen is getting interest from bigger streamers. Don't blow it, CIG.
Bias that people have against Star Citizen. When do you think that will finally stop and people will see, oh my God, this actually is this really good game? Because
when will the normies come?
Well, real quick, like
the normies
I saw
are starting
the Squadron 42 stuff, and in my comments, a lot of people might have just bought that $45 pack. They were very, very enthusiastic about it. They liked it a lot, especially with that tech demo they showed. That was fucking crazy.
He now says, I know they'll blow it, guys. Relax.
Okay, so here's the thing about the $45 pack, all right? There was a vote. They lost the vote.
Right.
So they have to wait. That's how democracy works. Right? They said, look, a majority of backers, we could stop right now and just work on your campaign mode. Is that what you want? Or
no, it was not changed the scope of the PU as well.
Do you want this MMO to go to the moon?
What year? I believe this was 2014,
everybody, like the
2015?
The great majority have said, we don't want to play a campaign mode for 2 months and forget it. We want to play an MMO for a real long time.
Right. And so, like, in case anybody doesn't remember, this is a video I'm playing on the stream now. This is all completely seamless transitions, right? Obviously, the wormhole is probably some form of, like, rendering, but...
yeah, it is.
Other than that, this entire thing is completely seamless with no loading screens.
But you're interacting during that loading screen. It's not like you're frozen, right? You're not on menu.
It's all in-engine.
It's a much better version of a loading screen.
When do you think that's going to happen? Where people finally people finally understand that this game is actually a real game? Because
that was the meshing test.
The meshing test, yes.
Yeah, like I did this jump, but it didn't look like what you saw on the screen.
Technology that makes this happen.
Right.
That's supposed to be coming in November.
Okay.
Right? And then they keep adding like star systems.
Right.
Right. But
I learned on Thursday the tunnel's real, SaltEMike. You really traveled through it and get handed over to Pyro on the way. No, I see. You weren't in the test. You're instantly handed over to Pyro, but you are traveling through the tunnel. So again, this is me speculating, but you are instantly in pyro the moment you click jump, because I was in the test and the tunnel didn't look the way that it was on the video. It was super scuffed. It was like white box, and you could see through the tunnel. So the moment you jump through the gate, and once again, I've explained this before, the jump point in one system is down at the bottom. Like, let's say it's here on my camera, but then the exit to the jump point in the next system is here, right? When I pressed jump, instantly the skybox changed to the other system, pyro. And when I got into the pyro system, I was here when I was supposed to be here. So we were left out in the middle of nowhere. So so the tunnel is, you're in the pyro system and you're traveling from here to here, here in the pyro system. So you're just going during that time period. So you are traveling, but you're not traveling from one star system to another. You are teleported instantly to pyro, and then you are transferring to it. It's not the intended final mechanic.
The basic technology, when it goes from alpha to beta, like we're just doing polish, we can add DLC
I don't know
planets,
what to tell you.
and you don't have
Video
to pay
games
for other
aren't
planets.
real.
Once you pay the base 45, you're in. Like what could happen is, like, to get into the MMO, you may have to pay more later.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, you get in for $45. You're not gonna get kicked when the MMO goes like beta or release. You're not getting kicked, like you say. And there's another thing that was said about LTI, lifetime insurance. That's like, you can claim it. No one's gonna take away your ship. You're gonna have insurance on it.
Yep.
Because what they do is, like, you can fix your ship, but if your ship explodes, you can claim it. So there's like an insurance thing.
Yep.
So you could do insurance by, like, paying in-game credits, or just like have it LTI in the game for, like, I don't know, whatever amount of time.
And again,
it's like
we still don't exactly know what that means.
That people that like to pay extra,
they are selling something to players that we don't know what it is.
Cash, so they don't have to go through that, can pay. And hey, there's something to be said about saving time. If you got a nice job and you got a family and you got to pay that money so you don't have to grind, well, you know what? The game don't play itself. But if you want to skip a little and you got the money, that's on you, right?
So you've been talking pretty positively about this game.
I don't see how people don't look at that as a bad thing. Like paying to skip is okay to people. I don't know when this ever became a good thing in games. I never understood that. My argument is, if MMOs never turn off, you're going to get there eventually. Why is it okay to skip? I'll never understand that argument. I'll never get it. Ever. I will never come off this opinion that is not okay ever. The MMO never turns off. Therefore, you will eventually, just like Sketch, who has his $45 ship, grinds to get his stuff, he'll eventually get it. That's it.
There's some people in chat that think that you are a paid developer. Do you have any sort of financial relationship or any employment, anything like that relates you at all to development team in any capacity, in any way? Are you able to make any money if the game does well, or anything? Nothing at all whatsoever.
Nothing. I play the game every day.
Okay.
That is true. I do get more hours of entertainment out of it than I would a Netflix subscription.
Right.
Who's he talking to? He's talking to Sketch Therapy. You might know him, Meyer, but he is literally the biggest hater I've ever had in my entire life. I've never had somebody talk more shit about me than this guy.
But I have the choice of not paying anything.
Very much in the same way that Asmon is critical of WoW. Like, not at all different at all.
Or maybe getting a skin because I want to, like, pitch in or whatever. It's like optional. Like, you pay $45. Everything else, that's optional. You paid because you wanted to. Don't put a gun to your head. No one limited what you could get more than a patch or two, right? You could just get it in game. It's up to you, right?
I guess so.
What I would say is just play it. Just pay the $45.
Oh, Eve does pay to skip. Yeah, whoever's saying Eve doesn't pay to skip.
It's only $45.
So
there's going to be some glitches, but you got to see it like this is GTA in space.
Okay. So you think that the majority of the people that are complaining about Star Citizen are stupid and delusional, or they don't understand it?
No. I believe there's a lot of different types of people. there's a segment that's mad about everything.
Yes.
And anything that costs money, they hate it because they hate spending, and they think everything should just be provided.
True.
Right? There's people that is their whole philosophy.
Right.
And they get mad at any game
that
allows play.
I think there should be funding in this game. You have to fund. How do you pay for servers in an MMO? There absolutely should be funding in the game. It just shouldn't affect the rewards of the game, like the spaceships.
Players to spend a lot.
Yes.
Right?
Correct.
There's a few of them, right?
So he's mad. No, he's mad that I banned him in chat for being annoying.
I think that this is predatory, right? That these people aren't adults with their own money, that they're somehow victims. Like Chris Roberts went to their house and put a gun against their head and said, "Give me the money," right? But if like you're addicted to Fent, it's your fault for being an addict. I mean,
there it is. You shouldn't have done it.
You can't blame the Fent.
Right. I get it. Okay, that makes sense. So you think that basically if people are doing that, they're letting it happen for themselves. Okay, got it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
There's people that are very bitter about campaign mode because they lost that vote. And when they lost that vote, their estimate was that the game was going to be about
I think the vote was about changing the scope of the PU. I don't think that was the vote, but I could be wrong. It was so long ago.
They don't care about campaign mode. They want a nice. They don't care about the MMO mode.
Yeah.
They want a nice little
so
campaign
mode.
Like
to
they don't have to talk to anybody. They don't want to interact with anybody. And it's just they hate the whole concept of like perhaps PvP danger. I might lose my stuff. Oh my god, I might get robbed on the high seas of space.
Yes.
They hate that concept.
I like Sketch a lot more than I did
other people
yesterday.
Upset about the buffs. They're like, we want stability.
Right. I like them more.
We want stability. We've been playing a while. We want stability. And those people I understand the most because I want stability too. But that tech was demonstrated in that 800 player example that they just did the test. So I'm like a little bit more patient about it. Like there are legitimate reasons to be mad, even though I don't agree with them, I can understand them.
So you don't want
I wish that was true.
Star Citizen to actually release. You want it to just be continuously developed.
Well, the MMO.
Right. Yeah, the MMO.
I want the campaign mode to release.
Yeah, Squadron 42
have,
or whatever.
Like,
yeah.
sequels.
For sure. Yeah, 100%. I think people are on board with that. Yeah, everybody is excited about that. So you think the people that are complaining about it not releasing are fundamentally misunderstanding what a release is?
The only person who's fundamentally misunderstanding what a release is the guy he's talking to.
The people that say that this game isn't released are either talking about the campaign mode or don't know what they're talking about. If they're talking...
Holy fucking shit.
About the campaign mode, it's true. The campaign mode isn't released. If they're saying this...
Bro, like literally sucking the developer's dick left and right are people, and the developers are working towards the release. 1.0. It's literally a fact that the game is not released. Release means that the game is live, that we're not going back. It's no longer an alpha. There's no more wipes. There's no more, alpha testing stuff. It's live. We're going with it, and we're going to continue to develop it from there. That's all people are talking about when they say release. It's so simple, and I don't know why this concept is not getting through anyone's head.
This game doesn't exist. There's 5,000 people playing it right now.
Right. Well, that's even 5,000 people watching, right? If you're talking about Twitch, right? There could be even more people. Yeah.
But there's like a whole more than 5,000 playing like active.
So
it's way more than that. But I mean, most of these people watching it are probably playing it too.
So yeah, it's probably
not exactly
probably
right now.
Yeah, it's not a 1-to-1, but it's somewhere around there. Yeah, I get it.
Ollie. What are you doing?
So, if you were, like, obviously you talked about this for a while, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence or skeptical about Star Citizen as somebody who's put a crazy amount of hours into it?
Stay away from me. Go away. I don't want you here, Normie. I don't want your complaining. I don't want you here. I don't want you here. Get out of here, Normie. I don't want you to regulate this. I don't want you to normalize this. I don't want you to localize this. Get the hell out of here. I'm gatekeeping. I'm gatekeeping hard.
That's
Ain't
funny.
That a fucking fact. Wow. Okay, man. Well, thank you very much for coming on and talking about this. This is certainly a perspective that I wasn't expecting to get.
I appreciate the opportunity. Much love, much respect. God bless.
Absolutely, man. Thanks a lot, and I'll talk to you later.
That was cool. He was wrong on some things.
Man.
But he was right on a lot. Now, this happened yesterday.
Man.
I want to... What does Asmon say now?
I don't even know what to say. That's crazy.
Yeah, he talked to no super whales, by the way. None.
You need to play it now? It says it's GTA in space. I guess so. I mean, fuck, man. Maybe we're going to have to try out Star Citizen. I never thought I'd be here, but here we are. Holy shit. It's so fucking funny to me. It's hilarious.
Dude, this dude says he's going to play 35 different games and never plays them anyway. So.
You're gonna do it? Yeah, this is amazing.
Nobody believes that.
That would be great. This game changed my life. Oh, really? This guy played it a lot? Yeah, good for him. Now, I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm going to be real. Like, I kind of want to try it out. I do. I do. Fuck. I want to try it out. I think I might download the game and see what it's about. This is I didn't
Don't
think
do it during Xeno
think this would happen today. I had no idea. I didn't expect this at all. But buy the lowest package. I'll buy the $45 package because the reason why is that I want to give people a real look at what the game is rather than
that's not a good idea, but
me spending all of the money.
The problem with the $45 packages is they're so old that they don't make sense for the current
because
game,
like for example, like with me going into
just
Star Rail or playing like Wuthering Waves,
like
we all know what those games are, right? It's a defined entity that everybody understands. But because
unfortunately the Titan's not 45, I think it's 60.
As this is an undefined entity, at least in terms of like the general public, I would not want to spend extra money because I want to have an authentic experience and tell people what that experience is truly like. So yeah.
He's not going to have an authentic experience. It's an online game. Everyone's going to send him money and follow him around like crazy. Summit didn't have an authentic experience until 3 weeks into him playing.
Exactly like how, like, because obviously you can trade currency apparently, and so
he'll never
be
able to show an authentic experience. The devs are going to come and protect him, and it's going to be completely unauthentic.
Because that would effectively be the same as whaling. So I would have to pretty much play, I mean, not completely solo self-found.
Does anyone care what he thinks about games seriously? Are you brain dead? Lots of people care.
But
what
like,
Asmon
the
says about
majority
games.
of it solo self-found in order to give like a real fair shake of it, you know? I want the 48K, no normie experience.
You don't care what he thinks.
I think that I mean, I could always do the 48K experience after, right? But I think that trying the baseline experience first would be the best idea. I think that's logically what would be smart, right? You can't block incoming money. Yeah, but I could also just simply not.
He's a fucking moron that played 10 games his whole life. Okay, man. You can be a hater, but
so it wouldn't be an issue.
You can't deny the fact that a lot of people care what he thinks. He's a very influential person, right?
You can't deny people money people send you. Yeah, but I could still just simply not spend money that I.
Why can't he stream it? He can.
That I got. So it wouldn't really be an issue. Whale and kill all the normies. We need Summit. Yeah, I saw Summit was playing it recently. I did. So I don't know what to think, man.
Summit would be the right person to take Asmon around, I think.
Oh my god.
I don't think any Star Citizen streamer would be good. Or Nick.
It's like I'm already invested in Ashes of Creation. And like people think that's one fake game. And now I'm going to be invested in 2 fake games. Like, guys,
yeah, Seer 2, right? He should just play with his friends.
How much money, bro, how much money did Summit spend? How much was it?
I don't think Summit
also played it. I did. He saw it. Yeah, I saw it. So he only dropped the 45. Okay.
I don't think he spent much, but the referrals are a thing. You get a bunch of ships
That's
for
fair.
Referrals and stuff.
Reasonable. Oh, 45,000. 38K. Yeah, I don't know about that. But I know there's a lot of people that y'all want me to talk to and everything. Like, I'm going to say this, okay? Right now, I plan on playing this game. Now, obviously, I'm probably not going to play it in the next month. Like, realistically, I'm probably not going to play it within the next month. Because I have, like, 5 other things that I want to do first, right? Like Elden Ring DLC, fucking, like, a couple of other games that are coming out. I'm going to play those. But, like, you know, like the Once Human, First Ascendant, I'm going to play 4 more of those games. I don't want to, like... Because this game, I hope this is, like, a saga, right? Where it's, like, I start playing this game, and it's, like, content for, like, Monster Hunter. Or, like, Dragon's Dogma 2, or, like, I mean, better example, obviously, really successful example was Final Fantasy 14, right? That one went crazy.
Okay, this is kind of done, so I'm gonna stop it here because my org is literally like, where are you? Because we're gonna do the event. So, yeah, I mean, that was pretty good. It was wilder than I thought, but yeah, so. Yeah, we're going to do the Xenothreat event. So this is like the most unauthentic Star Citizen experience. This is where the servers literally melt because they put way too many AI doing way too many things all at once. And one of the giant ships, just the ship just below this one in terms of like, oh, excuse me, you can't see it. The ship just below the Javelin in terms of like funding and backing. It's $1,500 to buy that one. So that one's in game as an NPC ship, but you can't fly it as a player currently, right?
So,
but you can steal it.
Yeah.
So that's the Asmon react. I thought I was gonna hate everything Sketch said. I only just kind of corrected a few things that I think he got wrong. Other than that, I think he was a pretty normal dude. Funny when you're not typing in a Twitch chat how normal people act. I have so much trouble when people type in Twitch chat that they just seem like idiots. And yeah, he got a lot of things wrong, but I don't think he's as dumb as people were making him out to be in chat either. So pretty good. The first guy just doesn't follow the game very much, but he also didn't talk to any whales. So that was that.